sunny and always not quite as good as where you are in beautiful Hawaii, but definitely enjoying some nice weather over here today in Connecticut.
Is it green? Like, is it green out with
Yeah,
lots of flowers and feels really summery and all that?
yeah. Everything's really green. The flowers are coming, everything in its own season. I love just watching everything cycle through. My lilacs come up and then my rhododendrons come up. They come and they go. It's kind of interesting, the cycle of life, but I just got to appreciate it when it's out, right?
Yes, and people think in Hawaii we don't have seasons, and
Mhm.
being here now a while, we do, and it's amazing. Now, of course, when I traveled the country in my RV, I saw a lot of different seasons and looks all over the country, and in Hawaii, you thought, oh, there's no seasons, but I've just really noticed summer is probably my least favorite here because it's when the sun just feels like it's right over the head and it's super extremely hot. But this summer's been really nice, and you can pretty much count on these 80-degree days all the time, right? And it just, for me, I'm one of those people that has that thing sad, where I'm a lot in the sun, and I like to be in the bright light. It isn't really the warmth. It is the warmth, but it's more the light. It has a direct effect. So I'm
Mhm.
just excited that you're here, Risa, because you have so much to share, and we are live now in my group and around. And I'm just really excited to meet your followers, and for your followers to meet my followers, and the people that like what I talk and what I about and bring in interviews are these people that just have had tremendous life experiences and have really learned a lot and brought that understanding to helping people heal. And that's something that is near and dear to my heart. I've been on a healing journey for many years, and I'm so grateful for the understanding of self love and how we have to really first and foremost, release those resentments and forgive ourselves. And then it can ripple out in so many beautiful blessings. And so I met Risa not too long ago. We're new friends, and brought her into my group to check it out. And it just felt like a great alignment for her to share a little bit about what she does and why you do it. So Risa, just let us know. Let's start with a little bit again where you are and what you're doing and all that stuff.
Yeah, so coming to you from sunny Connecticut today, and I am a self-love and relationship coach for women, and I'm here to remind you that you are the love that you seek. And I believe that the way that we love ourselves, our relationship with ourselves, really sets the tone for all our relationships in our lives. And so through private coaching and my signature self-love sanctuary circles, I help women break free from any old patterns, really embrace their worth, and create the deeply fulfilling relationships that they want by connecting with the truth of who they are.
And what inspired you to do this? Because I know what inspired me. I went down the rabbit hole, and I was in deep depression, and just lost the felt like a failure. And when that happens, it has such deep ripples. So I know why and what inspired me to continue to reconnect with myself. What inspired you?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for sharing that. I know we all teach what we've learned, right? So that's been my life journey also, is just really struggling for a lot of years with just feeling not good enough and, kind of less than everybody and trying to figure out, well, how do I really love myself? How do I create those kind of healthy relationships. And I was aware that sort of the pattern that I had running, I was kind of looking for that love, that approval from other people, from relationships. And it never really works out when we're coming to it from a sort of that needy place, right? Anyway, type in, you guys, if anybody can relate to this experience, right? Because I work with so many women who have had so many similar experiences. It's just that we just don't have the tools and the skills we need to really give that to ourselves. So that was my story. And so I waited until I was 38 years old to get married because I was aware I didn't want to be dependent on anybody else for to be that source of, um, you know, source of self-esteem or security or love for me. I wanted to be able to feel whole and complete in myself. So I'm 38 and I'm thinking, well, I guess I'm as ready as I'm gonna be. I studied with all the best personal growth experts in the industry for decades. I made a lot of progress and I thought, okay, well, I think I'm pretty ready. So I did end up marrying a very nice man, actually. But about 7 years into our marriage, he relapsed into alcoholism and depression. And it really wasn't until that happened that I didn't realize how much I really was still depending on him to be that source of love and security for me and that sense of validation. And it, as painful as it was at the time, I'm really grateful now because it really was an opportunity for me to do my own inner healing work. And it was a time of real awakening for me. So I finally got the coaching support that I needed to do some deeper kind of facilitated inner child healing, inner healing work. And so I finally felt like, wow, like I finally, am comfortable with myself. I have the tools I need to really feel like I know how to give myself that self-acceptance, that love, that approval. And of course, it's a journey, self-love is an ongoing journey, but it just really was the key for me to really start to turn things around. So now I got certified in that modality as a transformational life coach, and it is a lot about doing the inner child healing work. If you're familiar with that type of work, that's a lot of it. Yeah,
Yes, and in my group here, we have a bunch of inner child coaches too. I
nice.
big shout out for that work. I have done lots of it. Of course, I was labeled boy crazy, always looking for that self-worth through relationships. So it's interesting to me, over the years, I've been married actually with my husband, and we've been together 30 years.
Wow.
And so I'm so grateful that I was able to first of all, find a partner that was also very strong and confident in his own self-worth, and that we'd both done the work, and then could come together, and both of us were big dreamers. And so we've been able to, he's got 36 years sobriety. And I think that I understand that connection. Not sure we would have made it had he been drinking. I don't really have a taste for it. So it never was an issue for me, but I understand that need to find your worth in other people, and the need to drop it, and the need to drop the self-negative talk. So, and what are your thoughts? And because you've gone on and studied it clearly, but why do you think? Because I was able to break the pattern. Took me a while, but I was able. Why do you think so many women repeat these things over and over and over?
Yeah, that's fantastic that you're able to break out of that. We attract from where we are. So congratulations on that awesome relationship. But yeah, most of us were just sort of unconsciously reenacting what we learned about love growing up, and maybe we didn't feel. Probably most of us really didn't feel really truly seen as kids or validated, and or maybe even just emotionally safe. And so we carry that into adulthood. We're just sort of repeating these early dynamics that we learned because there actually is that younger part of us that's really just still trying to get the love that we need. We're hoping that,
Right,
oh, maybe now this person I can finally be loved the way I
right.
need to be. But we're sort of looking in the wrong place for it, right? We need to learn how to do that work for ourselves.
That can really start early on. I know it did for me when divorce comes in, and then you're always looking for that daddy figure or whatever it is. There's lots of reasons, but you've got to do the work. You really got to do the work, and you've got to release the resentments, and you've got to change and modify the behavior, right? So for me, I was able to really move forward in my healing physically and emotionally and spiritually when I could learn to let go of those resentments, the negative self-talk, and try to surround myself with people that support that growth. And of course, for me, it's always about supporting ourselves nutritionally, addressing those deficiencies to support our body because if we're in brain fog and inflamed and toxic, it's much more difficult. But how would you say, and what have you noticed working with clients over the years, how you see and how you help people? Because I know how I do it. I have, I'll just share quickly, I have this beautiful thing called walk around the rim. And so when I notice a trigger or something that could send me down a hole of depression, right? And we've all been down there. It's really hard to get up back out. So what I do is I visualize this big, deep hole. And I'm like, okay, do I want to get in it and crawl back out, or do I just want to walk around the rim? And I consciously visualize myself walking around the rim to the other side. And it's because I've been able to identify and recognize things. So how do you notice, and how can someone maybe get some value today, how they can begin to recognize and gently release some of these unhealthy patterns that are standing in their way from personal growth and forgiving and loving themselves?
Yes, so that's beautiful. And that's actually really the first step, Janice, is if we can just start to become aware. It's like we all have these patterns that we develop as kids as a way to either feel safe or to try and get the love that we need. And so um, what I would like people to understand is that these patterns, things like people pleasing or needing to avoid conflict or perfectionism or feeling overly responsible for people, those are sort of the big three that I see a lot that are really common. Um, we're actually really we own winning strategies when we were kids. It's kind of amazing if you think about it as little, 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds. We're very resourceful. We're very intuitive. We know what we need to do to either stay safe or to try and feel loved. And so these were actually survival strategies or winning strategies that we develop as kids. But now as adults, they're really not helping us create the healthy kind of connections that we want. Um, so, um, so that's really the first step, is just start to notice the thoughts, notice, what are the patterns that are coming up for me. And so we get into that a lot in the workshops and different things that we do, is how do we start to identify, well, what are the patterns that may be running for me? But
Because we don't want to repeat them. I just know that, so many people come to me, for example, they want to be healthy, or they want to lose weight, or they want to get stronger, or whatever it is. And just like with you, they're coming to have a healthy relationship or to love themselves first so they can have a healthy relationship, because you really can't have a healthy relationship if you haven't done the work personally, right? Because otherwise then you're just like, oh, trying to work it out. So I feel like many times they get stuck. Like it is so painful, right? And scary, and out of their comfort zone. So I'm always saying the magic happens out of the comfort zone, right? But maybe you could share a few simple ways that, or tips that you give people. For me, I would say one tip would be to really pay attention to your talk today and what you're saying, right? I cannot tell you how many people have already said to me this morning in a few conversations. I'd hear stuff like, and I'm sorry, subconscious, I do not mean this, but I'll hear things like, God, I'm so slow. Or, oh God, that was stupid of me, of course. Or, I'm so busy and overwhelmed. Or, geez, I just can't believe these flabby legs. It's like these are the kind of comments that you could be saying to yourself that are doing so much harm that you don't know, that are setting you back and putting up all these roadblocks for you to open up that nice path, which when you really do love yourself and realize what a miracle you are and how much you have to offer and how important you are right now, today, to this planet, to what's going on. We need to be here and awake and alert and strong and healthy. And when you realize that, you can be running down that path with joy, and you can just avoid all the distractions and the things that are slowing you back. But I just feel like so many people put up those roadblocks. So maybe you have some simple tips that you could share. How can people really start overcoming those and loving themselves right now, today, more?
Yes, thank you. I have a really powerful practice that I want to share with everyone today, which I feel like everybody needs to learn. And thank you for sharing all that. Like that is really valuable, is just to start to notice our self-talk. But um, really I take it like even to a deeper level, because even if you think about, and I'm going to share the process with you guys in a minute, so I just want to set it up a little bit here first. Is just that just in the spirit of self-compassion, just know like if you have that negative self-talk running, we learned that somewhere. That's like we didn't come in born like talking to ourselves like that's learned experience, right? And also the patterns, the people pleasing, like all that stuff. If I say, yeah, we'd have to start to become aware of it, but um, instead of criticizing, we need to get curious about it. And if you think about it, though, like I was starting to say, those were survival strategies that we learned as kids. And the thing that helps me be really compassionate with myself when I notice that I'm doing stuff like people pleasing and that kind of stuff, is that those were just unmet needs that we had as kids. And like,
Mm.
can't you feel compassionate for yourself, just knowing, this was just I was an innocent little beautiful
I
child,
feel that all the time, just not to
right?
interrupt you because I want to keep your
Yeah, yeah,
momentum here, but I
yeah.
have pictures of myself as a little girl right here next to me, and I love her and I appreciate her. And I'm sorry that she had to go through some of the things that she did. However, I like to take it even deeper, and you, I'm sure, do too. My
Mhm.
parents, who gave those messages, also had those messages, and they did the best with what they knew. And I hope and wish that they love, themselves and forgive themselves because
Mhm.
it's epigenetics.
Mhm.
It's been passed down a long time, right?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for bringing that up, because this is not about blaming caregivers or anybody. I feel like everybody is just kind of doing the best they can with what they learned and what they have as well. So this is where we now in this day and age, in this moment, we get to learn some tools, which I'm going to share with you right now, a really powerful self-love practice to break that cycle, so we can start to show up aligned, clear as the beautiful people that we were born as. And so I feel like, self-love, we can talk about a lot of different tools in a lot of different ways. You've already mentioned a few great ones. And I feel like the most important thing that we all need to get good at is just how do we be present with our emotions? We got to get good at feeling our feelings. And so it's really natural to not want to feel stuff that doesn't feel good. And we literally have protective mechanism in our brain. It's part of that fight or flight response. It's maybe not a physical threat, but it's an emotional threat, the difficult feelings, right? And so that's our natural instinct, is to distract, avoid, suppress. And maybe there is a place for some of that, but um, it really is just it's just feelings that need to come up. We need to be able to feel it to heal it, right? We need to be able to process and
So
and really,
painful for people, though. I mean, it is, and I know I've been through it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes you think you've done it right, and it comes back.
yeah, yeah, and definitely for the more difficult stuff, you want to have some coaching support or some, kind of a supportive container to help guide you through the healing process on the deeper levels. But this is something that we can all do for ourselves just on the daily. And so if you would like to just try this with me, if you want to just get comfortable in your chair, wherever you're sitting, if you like to just even close your eyes or bring your attention within yourself and just take a nice breath. Maybe you want to just put a hand on your heart, one on your belly, your lower stomach, your center, and just take a nice deep breath and to feel that air go all the way down into your belly, into your center, and releasing on the out breath. And just taking a couple of more nice, deep, nourishing breaths here, breathing in all your life energy, all your attention, all your love back into yourself in this moment, here and now. Just releasing any extra tension on the out breath. And so, anytime you're feeling any difficult emotion, or if you just want to tune in and become present with yourself, I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can ask. And so the first one is just asking yourself, what do I feel? And we're sort of just leading with curiosity here. We're kind of taking a step back and sort of coming from that higher witnessing place with ourselves, holding loving space for ourselves, and just asking, what do I feel? And just even naming the emotion. And if you're not sure, the 4 main ones are fear, sadness, anger, or happiness, with all kinds of variations in between. But just kind of noticing, maybe I feel anxious or overwhelmed, or just notice how you're, whatever you're feeling. And then you want to just ask, where do I feel it in my body? And see if you can just locate physically in your body where you most feel that feeling. Maybe I feel a real constriction in my throat. Maybe I feel a heaviness, a sadness in my heart, or a hurt in my heart. Maybe I feel a lot of tightness in my belly, a lot of anger or anxiety in my solar plexus, just noticing where in your body do you feel it. And no agenda to fix it or change it or make it go away. We're just noticing. And just for a moment, you can just allow that feeling to exist and just hold loving space for it, just like a loving parent would do for an upset child, because that part of you that's feeling that way, it usually is a younger part of ourselves. It just needs our love and attention. It just needs to be acknowledged and seen. So just holding that space. And then the third question is, what do you need, sweetheart? I'm here. I'm listening. I've got you. What do you need? And then just seeing what the need is underneath the feeling. And then you can just say, all right, well, what do I need to do then right now to just take care of myself? Or what's the most loving thing I could say to myself right now? And that's the beginning of a practice that I do with my clients. I call it the inner freedom process, where then we go a lot deeper into then how do we work with whatever's coming up, um, and work with it that way. But how is that for you? Is that helpful?
I
So,
loved it. Yeah, I do a lot of breath work,
mm,
and yeah, for me, and taking a walk and all those things. There's so many different things that we can do, and of course, nourishing ourselves. But I loved that, and I do speak to myself like that often, where I'm there. I repeat those things to myself, and I have done a lot of work to clear up the negative self-talk, because now when I hear it, it's so obvious because I don't do it a lot. But I do know that many of the people I talk to are struggling with that. So I
mm,
love it. And I love that you do this work, because this is what the world needs. And for me, I just feel sadness I feel we need more love and kindness and less, of the other stuff.
mm,
And I just felt some of that for our world, and I just wanted more people to know the
yeah,
what we are, what we have. So you and I both do events, and events are a great opportunity for people to come together, whether it's on Zoom or in person. I'm preferring the in person right now just because I love it.
mm,
But you
mm,
have one coming up. Why don't you tell that with everybody? And then also, just afterwards, as we wrap this up, she'll be putting all her information in the comments after, and I'll be connecting with her and all that after we're done. But thank you.
mm,
If you've been listening live, we appreciate it. If you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay. A lot of people I know will watch later. We're just happy you're here, and we want to encourage you to fall back in love with yourself, because you're it. You are your
yeah,
greatest asset. I know that people tell you it's your house and your bank account and your car, but it's you, because none of it really matters without you. And so I'm so grateful for that understanding. Tell us about, you've got something cool, unshakable self love. Tell us about that.
yeah. So, I have a great free mini retreat for women coming up next week called Unshakable Self-Love, 3 Sacred Steps to Come Home to Yourself and Rewrite Your Love Story. And so, whether you're in a relationship that's no longer feeling good, or you're single and really ready to call in your one, and you don't want to fall back into any kind of old patterns, this is for you. Or if you just want to learn how to be in more loving relationship with yourself, we're going to be together for just an hour a day over 3 days. It's next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, June 17th through the 19th, from 10 to 11 Pacific in the morning and 1 to 2 Eastern in the afternoon. And there will be replays available if you can't make it live. So you can look for the link and come on over and check it out. But yeah, we're going to explore, we're going to get in deeper. I mean, hopefully that little practice I shared with y'all today is something that you'll continue to use. It's just what do you feel? Where do you feel it in your body? And what do you need? What do you need, sweetheart? And
That's really good, Risa, too, with when I'm working with people. For example, I'm on one of my intermittent fasting cleanse days, and I train people how to do that. And oftentimes when we think we're hungry, it's something else that we're just not wanting to feel. So this practice that you just offered us is a fantastic tool for you guys out there that are, working with me. Really take a look at what it is you're feeling, and it's probably not hunger. And we have been conditioned, whether it's through, like I said, I was so boy crazy, or whether it's through food. Food is such a big thing to fill those holes and not feel the feeling, right? To hide the void. It's better to clean it out and let it go and nourish ourselves. So I love that. And I'm going to really share that practice and your event. And I hope people will take you up. I thought of 3 people I'm working with right now, and you guys know who you are, that have each told me they're out looking for new relationships and they don't want to repeat what they've done before. And I'm so grateful. I had been married previously, and for actually, we were together almost 10 years. So, father of my children, we're still close because we did the work. And then I was blessed with a long-term relationship because I did the work, right? And I wasn't looking to the relationship. And so that's what also was so weird, is I had done the work. And then when I broke my leg and had the accident, I went back. So even if you've done the work, you've got to check back in. You don't just go to the gym and get that great body and never go again. Or, in my case, I lost 100 pounds, and I'm keeping it off because I continue to live this way. It's a lifestyle. So a healthy relationship is a lifestyle that supports you to thrive. So I'm just thinking that, all of you out there that we know, check it out when you get the link, because I think working with Risa would be fun and would help you really find that healthy relationship, first with yourself and then with your partner. Is there anything you want to close with us, Risa?
Yeah. It's just I love that you're hitting on that. It is a journey. It's not a one and done. And the patterns, honestly, like they will come up because that is part of what's ingrained. But yeah, we're going to get into a lot deeper, a lot more tools and techniques. It's going to be quite a transformative event. I'm really excited to share it. It's normally a $297 value, but it's free for you today. It's my gift to you all today. And so I hope you'll be able to come and join us so that we can just really come into better, more loving relationship with ourselves, really feel that wholeness, that peace within ourselves. And it's especially important with everything that is going on in the world. As you know, we've got to learn how to stay centered and grounded. And so I'm excited to share a lot more practices with everybody, just to gently start to unravel any of the patterns, to become aware and gently start to see how that we can start to release those. Anything that's been getting in the way of you really experiencing the kind of love that you want to feel first within yourself, and then creating the kind of loving connections that you want with other people. So definitely click that link and come on over. And I guess the only other thing I would say is that you are already worthy. You already are enough. And I know I can say that, but unless you feel it, words don't really mean anything. So come and join us so you can experience that for yourself.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I say it a lot. You are so worthy of it. You are your best investment. Take care of yourself and love yourself. So this was a great interview. Thank you so much to all of you watching. Thank you, Risa, for your time. And I'm going to go back and we'll do all the stuff, but I hope that you got great value out of it. And thank you again for clicking in. And remember, it's a joyful life. So live it that way. Thank you, Risa.
So thanks so much, Janice. Thanks, everyone.